Good to go.
Okay, thanks. So these things are separate from the petition that you handed in, right, Cliff?
That's yours.
Okay, so, why don't you guys tell us why you're here first?
Okay.
Okay? Are you guys, have you looked over what you need to look over enough?
I haven't seen.
Oh, yeah. Look at any of the stuff that,
No.
and it's right there, to the left of your computer on the ledge, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I can give Aaron 1 minute.
Sure.
to Take a look
Uh-huh.
at those. And then we'll do it.
You're good. I can multitask.
Yeah. Well, we're here for 2 reasons, and they all tie together.
Let me just first say that Cliff Krolik and Jim Smith are here for our workshop.
Yeah. And as Jen is aware, I at the town meeting requested to see if we could get a moratorium on any further development, and you guys happen to put moratorium there, so that's one of the reasons why we're here. The other reason why we're here is to request a stay 040447's LLC cannabis licensing application. And I think it's not important to me which one we deal with first, but that may be the one that affects the other one in terms of the ability of the select board has to meet a certain deadline to approve a certain application on the 21st. And if we were to really go into this request for a stay, it would give all the parties an opportunity to think carefully, rather than squeeze it in within a week and a half, having to make a deadline. The 21st, I think the town has to make some kind of a deadline to be able to approve an application for a local marijuana shop right here on 160.
So let me just take a step back. You're referring to an application for an adult use retail store?
Yes, request for stay. Yep.
Okay, and what is the 21st? What?
Apparently by the 21st, I mean, a certain amount of time that the select board has to decide whether or not they're going to approve an application.
I think you have 60 days, if I'm not mistaken.
No, we have 45 days, and that would be on June 11th.
Okay. We were unaware of that.
Both wrong, I'm sorry.
Sorry. So, I guess what we can do, still think about a stay because of certain issues that we've listed there on the request for stay. And, but more importantly, now that we know we have a little extra time, that gives us an opportunity to talk about a referendum, a temporary referendum for 180 days. And the main reason why I'm asking this referendum is for public safety purposes. And
let me just interrupt too, because are you referring to the petition now?
the petition.
Okay, so
yeah.
let's stick with the petition,
Okay.
because I don't feel right talking about
okay.
anything else unless the applicant is here, okay? So,
Okay.
the petition is a citizens-initiated
Yep.
attempt, so that's, let's stick with that.
Let's just stick with that.
Okay.
So we've got we have the number of people that signed, requested, plus another 20 or so. And we feel that public safety and welfare is the most important thing. And we understand clearly that our ordinances and our comprehensive plan need some work. And we feel if we do not take this time to do this work in the next 180 days, that this could be the beginning of having a marijuana shop in every village in the town of Parsonsfield. We have many villages, most of them are historic, most of them are residential, and we feel, according to a lot of other people, that we need to look at we need to take some time, we need to take a breath out and take time to make sure that what the public wants, the public gets. And we understand, been outraged by the possibility of having, a marijuana shop in our villages. So, and Jim could even speak to this as well, because we're both here representing that, but I think it's critical to take time. Now, I know that the comprehensive plan was updated, and as far as the state goes, as long as you update your plan, unless the state sees something unusual, they don't jump right back at it. And the ordinances are not quite right with the comprehensive plan. And what should have taken place, and what now will give us an opportunity to take place, is to make sure the ordinances and the comprehensive plan sync up, particularly around business development in our local villages, which is what are appropriate business developments there and what are not appropriate. So that's why we're asking for the moratorium for public safety, public welfare, and to give us time to make sure our ordinances match up with our comprehensive plan, and the large majority of the people have requested that. They don't want to see just any willy-nilly pop-up, liquor store right on 160 North Parsonsfield. What's the difference? There's not a great difference. And we need to do this while we have time. Go through the comprehensive plan, go through and try to eliminate loopholes that people, the large majority, feels they're getting a bum rap from. Not everybody, but from the town meeting that just occurred, it was quite clear that there was a lot of people upset.
Yeah, there was a lot of controversy. I did spend a good amount of time talking to one of the attorneys at the Maine Municipal Association about the petition, because there was a question in my mind about the how it was written, how it was presented to the people, and in order for it to be taken to the people, it has to be written as an article, for a warrant to be, to be handled at a town meeting, special town meeting, what have you. The intent and the clarity of your paragraph, though, it makes it pretty clear that there's enough interest, enough citizen concern for us as a select board to address it, okay? According to the attorney, we can write the warrant article, because what you've written is really, it needs more language to be a warrant article for the town. There's a lot that's in it. It's all.
To be specific.
Yeah, it's very clear, what the people are asking for. So this, what you've given is kind of like what they would call an advisory position. This is what everybody is thinking and what you would like the select board to see and address and do. So what we would have to do would be to go through our attorney, our town attorney, not just Maine Municipal Association, and address a warrant article that would be specific to a moratorium. And that can be done. So that was pretty much the gist of my conversation with Maine Municipal Association. It used to be that the town had to adopt a municipal moratorium ordinance, but that's not the case anymore. You don't have to have a general moratorium ordinance. You can go with a specific ordinance. So, go ahead, Jim.
My biggest concern is the fact that this situation that we're really concerned about and what's brought it to the surface exists right now. His application has been presented for a license, and if that license is granted, he will be grandfathered, and then the specific reason for the request for the moratorium would be pointless for that situation, but anything in the future. The folks that are already in existence in Keys of Falls, the two stores that are there, they're grandfathered. Whatever we do, if the whole world turns upside down, they're still grandfathered down there at this point in time. So your issuance of a license, which you would have every right to do, I would suggest that it would be contrary to a lot of people's idea of what ought to happen based on the signatures on the moratorium. So
There was 103 signatures certified by the town clerk, so.
And I did speak to Aaron briefly when I was in the other day, and I said, yeah, I understand you've given Chris, he has a permit to build a store. And I said, well, but that permit isn't permitting him to build a marijuana store, is it?
No.
He said, no.
Right.
Okay. So how do we hold him to that he doesn't put marijuana in that store? That's the next question, because he has a history of going ahead and doing things and then dealing with them later. And we don't want to.
Somehow I feel like I don't want to talk about an applicant without that applicant here.
I understand.
Okay, and you have a petition asking for a moratorium on general principles of cannabis, of stores, of manufacturing, and I think that's where we need to focus our conversation. And if that's where we're headed with this moratorium, then we would need to get a hold of our attorney and go through the same kinds of questions that I asked my municipal association.
So my question to you is, can we be guaranteed that you'll get through your attorney prior to Chris's licensing on the store? Because if it comes after, he could bring marijuana.
You're asking for something to become retroactive. That would be something we would have to deal with our attorney. And no, I don't think that any of us in this room can make a guarantee of anything. I would never want to promise or guarantee anything. It's just not the way It's just not the way the world
No,
or
I
the
understand.
town works.
I think there is retroactivity in the legal sense that's available.
May I ask, is this just a select board memorandum, or is this something you disseminated to the people that signed the petition?
The petition?
Yeah.
No,
That was
This is
nothing
just
I-
provided to us?
This is
I did
totally
not show
separate,
that to
right?
anybody when
Okay.
I witnessed the signature.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's kind of all over the place, and you're referring to, you're trying to tie in issues with Maple Crest Road to issues that haven't existed
Yeah,
across
you
the
see,
street.
you got that fan going, you gotta speak a little louder.
I said, I haven't, this just dropped in my lap right before you walked through the door, so I really want to read through it, but just glancing at it, you made references to the Maple Crest Road property that has nothing to do with the one here on North Road. It seems like it's kind of like a scare
Oh,
tactic
you
to
must
scare
be
people what might
you
happen
must be
here.
looking at, no, that isn't the referendum, that is the stay, that's a stay.
Correct, that was my question, I was
That has
asking you.
nothing to do with the referendum.
That was not visible to anybody that signed the paperwork.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and just, I mean, we can chat with Chris here, but there's so many, there's so many problems with what's going on up there. And I don't want to get into them right now because as you want Chris here, and we should have an open discussion with Chris here of what's going on up there.
There are issues that I was unaware of until that gentleman came before you. When I started looking at the ordinances that we had and how I interpreted them, one of them references two principal uses cannot exist on the same lot. That situation exists for several situations here in town. What I'm getting at is if that's a misinterpretation on my part, then so be it. If it's not being enforced, then that falls back onto you folks for not assuring the fact that the code office is addressing those things. So,
Are you talking about the facility itself? 'Cause that has not been brought before us in.
Any situation, not just marijuana, I'm
Okay,
talking
you're
about people that run, I don't know how the hell to say it, bakeries, home occupations require a certificate of conditional use permits, et cetera, et cetera. Some, not all. I actually sat on a board in Scarborough with two attorneys on it, and one of them would never pass a home occupation. And this lady came in one night and wanted to do home seamstress work. And he stood up in front of the board and apologized and said, "I've finally found one I can vote for." The sewing at home, he considered to be a home occupation. Nothing else he would vote for and in favor. That's strict in his mind.
So, yeah, I don't think we've had enough time to really read through these two extra,
Yeah, well, I think the stay is quite important. There's some stuff in there. I know that lot had an inspection, but Norm, the inspector, never went in the building. And he's permitted to go in, but there's also a requirement for a medical caregiver who has more than 500 square feet is considered commercial. And from my understanding, I've heard from Chris a number of times that he's growing marijuana for other people. Now, are they all medical care people? He's allowed to grow more than the 500 square feet? If they're all medical care, do they have licensing? And there's an office in the state that will, because we feel that there's a major compliance issue here.
They don't answer the phone or
Potential.
call you back.
And there's a compliance issue. They, if he's growing marijuana for other caregivers, we need to find that out. If he's growing more than 500 square feet on his license for medical, that's an issue. So there are some major issues that have to be looked at by the town.
Well, I think, think,
But those don't fall under the town's purview.
and that's what I'm gonna say,
Right.
so,
That's no, and,
so,
The
go ahead.
planning board.
Well, no, it would be a request, I think that a request could be made to the Office of Cannabis Policy.
correct.
Yeah,
And I think that would, to me, that would make a lot of sense, and I know I'm coming in late to the party, but it would make a lot of sense if we're gonna think about, issuing a license to someone. It would be awful nice to know that, he's currently compliant when we do see potential issues. And it just, I don't see the harm in either documentation or inspection by OCP. And I don't know how they are to deal with. I don't know anything about them, but it
I've
seems to
found
me,
them
I
pretty
understand that,
responsive.
you guys are kind of on the outside looking in, almost similar to us. And,
Well, Maine statute for medical cannabis allows them to do certain things, and the town really has no jurisdiction over that at all. I mean,
And
his
that-
facility is allowed to be there, he doesn't require licensing from the town for it, that is a state statute. If your facility is on your primary residence,
see,
you're good to go.
that's
That's a state law.
primary residence is, the definition of primary residence is, that's very
If you call
tilted.
the Office of Cannabis Policy, they would tell you that that's where he lives, that's his property, and that's where his grow is, and that's allowed. They consider that address where his house is his primary residence.
And see, that's
I know you don't wanna talk about him.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
Two-
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep
Two
this to the
principal
petition
use-
itself, which Cliff handed us today, so we're,
Oh, I didn't know, I didn't know.
yeah.
Two principal uses on one lot, whoever is doing it. Leave his name out of it. Two principal uses on one lot. Residence and business are two uses, no matter how you cut it. Now, that's one of the things, if that's not what you want relative to the comprehensive plan, that's one of the things that can be addressed through a review of circumstances.
I think when we have a public hearing for that, those issues can be brought up then. That is not even anything that the select board has been part of at all. There's nothing about, that's all before the planning board right now.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we need to stick with the petition that we have before us.
Got the petition.
Right.
And.
We
what-
understand your
What are the next
concerns.
steps? What are we gonna hear from you guys?
When or what?
When and what?
I can't give you a date when, because it depends on what I hear from our attorney.
Okay.
Yep. Because that would be the next step.
Is the fact that those 100 signatures, what I gleaned from what you said earlier, was it may be sufficient to satisfy the request for the moratorium, but it needed to be more specific in its wording.
Yes, yes.
Does that nullify the signatures that are on there?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was a little afraid of the tone of that conversation.
Yeah, no, I mean, you have a petition that suggests there's concern in the town from a lot of townspeople, and it's been very clear, your paragraph states pretty clearly what the intent of it is, and then it's a advisory note to the select board, this is what these citizens would like to hear and see. We would take it and further clarify it into an article print.
And could you bring us in just before you come to a workshop? When you have that ready to go, if you.
Yep,
if
whatever
you're a
our next
lawyer.
steps would be, we would let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, does the town share the lawyer with Porter now?
Porter uses Canferranti as well,
Okay,
yeah.
so say, okay.
Yep.
Yep. I think that's it, huh? We can't talk about, a stay unless Chris is here. And maybe that should be a workshop and have Chris come.
It's possible.
Is that all right with you guys?
Yeah, I think I would want to run that by our attorney because it's not, that's not discussable yet. That's all still in front of the planning board in terms of what they're dealing with. It's nothing that we have received in any way, shape, or form for paperwork, for applications, for anything. So that's not come before the select board.
We have an appeal that's gonna be heard here soon.
Yes,
also.
tomorrow. You have an appeal
that's
tomorrow
very-
at 6
That's
o'clock.
very preliminary part of the process. isn't it?
Right. I mean, everything
Understand
is a
that.
process for sure.
I appreciate you giving us half hour of the time.
The young lady that helped me today,
Yes, Emily.
I thought she was about 20 years old, but anyway, she didn't take that as an insult. So, anyway, she really was a lot of help. I was very impressed with what
Yeah,
she
she's
knew.
great. She's great with computers and all that tech stuff, so yeah, we appreciate her tremendously.
The girls across the hall too have been very helpful too.
Mhm.
So, your attorney, within a few weeks, you see?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he's very good about it.
Yeah, we hope, anyway, it depends on the attorneys, that we can have something before that deadline in June comes. That's what the hope is.
Mhm.
We don't wanna have to backtrack, anyway.
Okay,
We can't guarantee it, but that would be our hope. Very good, thanks, Jim.
sure, sure. You guys have anything else you wanna add, or?
No.
Okay, sounds good to me.
All right.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Yep.
Here you go, Jim. Come on.
Oh, no, I'm all,
you sure?
I'm all set. I can get out of these chairs, it's the other ones that get me, the lower ones. I hate to run out.
Hey, thank goodness we don't have the,
It was just getting interesting.
thank goodness we don't have the grade school
Well,
chairs.
you're welcome to stay, it's open.
Right, yeah, we didn't have
I
grade
gotta
school
take
chairs.
my other son to Westbrook to get his car.
Now, there you go.
Thank you for listening, all of you.
All right,
Good day.
thanks, guys.
Do the same. Don't tell my wife I took one of these.
Why don't you take one for her?
Oh, jeez. Mother's Day, that's it.
There you go.
There you go.
That's it was
There you
her
go.
day yesterday,
Yep.
that's the end of that.
So did I put that in for June 11th? I don't think I added that to the calendar yet, but I will do it now. And
Though I don't know that it'll matter. Can you check when you contact Cam, can you check if it's a issue that on the circulator's oath, there's no date when Renee reviewed?
on any of them?
On any of the ones Renee did, yeah.
Why don't you go take them into the office? She sat there and did them today. I saw her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming they were all today, but like there's one from Danielle for the 4th, there's one from the 7th. But,
Right.
so,
It's
I mean,
missing information.
if this was a true petition.
Right.
That we were forced to act on, I think we would have to throw out those signatures. But, as well as I understand it, but I would ask him, but I don't know that it,
Yeah, it's
is
an
impactful to-
advisory petition, mostly because of the wording, but because it has been presented, the MMA attorney was like, it's not far from being a warrant article, okay? But it's also not the way to pass a moratorium by having that kind of a paragraph, so. So, totally up to the select board to craft a moratorium ordinance. You know, we have to honor their request. They brought in a petition, and they're asking the select board to take action. And so that's where we stand. I will draft a letter to Cam and CC you on it, okay? And maybe I'll do that first.
So there's always been a lot of reference to the comprehensive plan, and I hope everybody understands from what I understand. The comprehensive plan is a guide, it is not a superseding legal document.
correct.
It can be used to help formulate the ordinances, but it doesn't supersede them. And in a case like this, it would be an amendment to the ordinances to bring it in line with the plan, because that plan was drawn up after most of these ordinances were already in place.
Correct, and I mean, you guys were on the planning, you all say that, you know, all the ordinances need and should be updated and brought more in line with what the vision of the townspeople had via the comprehensive plan, so, you know, that's one more piece of work that will take some time.
Do we know the town currently has 18 registered individual caregivers operating Parsonsville? What registration they pulled that number from?
Yes, I do, because I have access to all of that information
Is
right
that
here.
from the cannabis policy office?
OCP.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all right out there.
I knew I looked at your list.
And the difficulty, you know, the OCP lets me know who's, lets the town office know who's registering and re-registering. What they don't let the town office know is where the residents are of the people that have these cultivations.
Right.
Okay. That's where
The state,
the Norm and the assessor might come in handy, because
but this, before the state grants them an application, that's what they use to verify that the application is on their primary residence, correct? Or no?
I don't think they look at that at all, the state. The state doesn't look at, they need the address of the owner, and they need the address of where the cultivation facility is. But we don't get that information. We only get the town. I guess that's kind of like a HIPAA thing, perhaps, but there are growers here whose addresses are in Rentham, Springdale, West Newfield, Cornish, Saco, and these are the facilities that we need to have licensed. But as far as the enforcement piece of it,
Because that list indicates they're not on their primary residence.
so the enforcement part of it is we look to the code enforcement to be able to check these things out. And that's why I'm saying that having a deputy code enforcement officer, I think, would be necessary. I mean, Norm's busy doing
Every day, no.
everyday stuff. Hey, where'd it go? It sounded like rain on a window.
Tapping.
Yep.
There's a lot to take in here.
Hmm?
There's a lot to take in here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you were at the special town meeting to hear those arguments. Where I sat beside you.
Glad you're sitting beside me.
Where I was sitting beside you. It's concerning to me that the wording on these ordinances and the definition of where they could be have been out there for quite some time, and now we're only now seeing the response.
Well, I
Well,
don't
we
know if
didn't
you,
see that response from when they were going into Keyser Falls. No one submitted a petition. Like, it's not good for the goose and the gander type of thing.
well, you know, business activity, maybe they feel should be centered where most businesses are located. I know that,
Oh, I see that, but that ordinance has allowed that to be here since the
Right.
first places were
Right.
able to open.
right, I mean, it is not without our purview to, as a select board, make amendments to this ordinance. We can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that on our own. And I think that there's a lot of things we should amend in the facility licensing ordinance.
So we do need a workshop to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have two packets for them or just one? I only have one.
Gave us each one, they gave me a separate one, which I haven't even,
There's one that's a stay and one's the moratorium.
yeah.
So I just have the one on the emergency moratorium.
And I only have one on the stay, so.
Okay.
Oh, so switch back and forth then.
Okay, I want mine back. It's got a lot of squirrels and nuts.
Do either of you know if the appeals board has the ability to get into town hall on their own? I don't think Tom Winter has a key, does Denise?
I thought we gave Tom a key last time.
Did we? I
don't
don't know
know.
that. I'll email him
I can come over and let them, is it Wednesday?
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I can come over and let them in.
Yeah, I might come
I was
just to
gonna
listen.
come to the meeting anyway.
You were
I
gonna
should be
listen?
back from Concord well before that.
Yeah. And actually, the meeting is really to see if the application is complete that the appellants brought in.
Right.
Right.
Right, so,
I can send Tom an email and let them know I'm here to let them in.
Okay.
And see what time it is. Their meeting's at 6, correct?
yes,
So if I get here by 5:30, be plenty of time.
yeah.
I'm lost without my calendar. I know Denise doesn't have a key.
I gave her a key to, I believe I gave her a key to the planning board room. But I'm not sure if I gave her one to.
I don't mind coming. I don't have anything on my calendar that
Okay.
I'm aware of. And if anything comes up, I'll text it to you, but I don't
Okay.
think that's the case.
I do have an extra key to the building itself, but I do think, I don't know that she knows the code, so.
Well, we all know I locked the door, so you can come back up and check it. I'm never gonna live that down.
Well, not if you keep bringing it up.
I was trying to beat you guys to the punch. I'd also like Norm to be part of our workshop so we can see what, if anything, he has done about some of this compliance.
I think that's a great idea, and what do you, I know he likes to submit some reports quarterly, but in light
Right now,
of
we have too much going
we have
on.
too much going on. I'd like to see monthly reports.
I'd like to see weekly enforcement reports so we know what's going on when we hit our meetings every week.
You know, the CEO over in Porter does these Excel spreadsheets, and he's got like, you know, site visits, where, for what, and it's just something that he plugs in every time he makes a
I'm
visit.
sure Emily could build in one.
Would he take it though?
Well, comes a point where it's not an option.
Yeah.
We need that information. There's
Yeah.
so much going on, and the public opinion is so high on this matter.
Right.
And both the people that he's enforcing and the public deserve us to know what's happening so that we can help guide that.
Oh, I totally agree.
Because not that this is new information, but getting all this information 2 seconds before people come in doesn't give us time to properly prepare and have an educated conversation with them on
Oh,
some
no.
of their points.
Right,
I mean, we're educated on the basic data, but
right.
there's some points in here that I just have some questions of where that information came from.
I mean, and there's no reason why we can't hold another workshop.
Right.
And go over this stuff, so.
Jesse was in that facility, wasn't he?
Which one?
The one that they're questioning with this day.
I believe so.
I thought you told us that he had been in there and it was up to snuff.
When you were on the planning board?
Yeah.
I'm,
We did ask him that question.
yeah.
Think back when everything first started up and there were questions.
Supposedly, I think they are also people who grow or medically grow have something on the wall, like a permit from OCP that says what it is they can do.
Yeah.
So, Pam Pride came in today, looking for some info on the public utilities. I know you had, Aaron had responded about the water. I had a lot of information that I printed out for her from when I was going through that as well, trying to see what we could do for decreasing rates. But it really would take a legislative decision and support from our legislators. And, you know, she said she's willing to look into all of that stuff. And I said, go for it. As part of the budget committee, what can they do to bring town costs down?
Aaron, if you want to give me that, I'll make copies of both of us. No, we unfortunately don't have a, do you want Jen for a clean copy?
No, that's fine.
No, I'm good with these two. I think they're both all the same, right?
I think so. I just.
A request
want to
and,
because I
yeah.
know it's on it.
For some reason, Saban, when I put you as an invitee to a meeting, it says you're not available, and I think it says you're in a different time zone.
Aaron or me?
You.
I can't get on my calendar right this second, but I will before the end of the day.
Oh, you know what, and I just put that on my calendar. Did I do that? No, I did on yours too. Okay.
Just zap me an email and I'll add it to my calendar.
Okay, well, it should be. See if it is. It just says, it says unavailable, that's all.
I just can't get to it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Not a
I'm a
problem.
little blind at the moment,
Well,
but that's a good thing.
I'm
Fix it.
ready to call the workshop closed just because I'm gonna make some tea and stretch for a minute.
I'll restart.
Closing it up?